Let me ask you the specific question that Rand Paul and a lot of other people on both the right and the left are raising. They're saying, fine, if you find the bad guys or you have a reason to suspect them, go after their numbers, go after their emails, but why do you have to vacuum up information on every law-abiding American in the country?
Well, first, what information? And the answer is phone numbers and who contacted who. But we don't have any names associated with it. It's a big bag of numbers that have been collected. And
he still says that's an intrusion.
Well, I don't believe it is. In fact, that's not private information. According to the Supreme Court, those are business records of the telephone company. You don't go into that box of numbers, if you will, to look for connections unless you pick up someplace a suspicious number.
I love that. No, that's not your private information. That's just their business records. So it's just a bag of numbers. Don't sweat it. Now, if Cheney later looks through those bag of numbers, or the next Republican president that comes in, or this Democratic president, and they're like, oh, well, you look at that, that's Elliot Spitzer's number. Oh, well, you look at that, that's Escort's number. Huh. Just a bag of numbers. That's not Spitzer's private information. That's just AT&T's business records. See how this game is played? More from the Sith Lord.
Let's assume that's right. Now the question is being asked, why does all of this have to be kept so secret? The terrorists clearly assume we're trying to intercept their phone calls and intercept their emails. So why not let the American public know the outlines, the general program, obviously not sources and methods and how you go in and the algorithms and all that, but the blueprint, the general outline of the program, so we as Americans can debate it?
Well, I have problems with respect to that concern. I understand people's concern about it, but an intelligence program that does reveal sources and methods, which in fact is what you're talking about, is significantly less effective because you're not just revealing it to the American people, you're revealing it to your targets, to your adversaries, to the enemy.
Think about that. Under that logic, you can't ever reveal any government program because it would reveal it to the enemy. So the entire government and every single thing we do must be completely secret in a democracy where you're supposed to decide what our leaders are supposed to do. And by the way, they then turn around and say, oh, these are all your democratically elected leaders. They decided to do this, so it's totally fine. Except they didn't tell us what they were doing. So we're not even sure what we were voting for. And they say, no, it's okay. If I tell the American people, that means I'm telling the enemy. So I can never tell you anything. It's so deeply un-American. The fact that the press has gotten used to it speaks volumes on how horrible the press is. One more.
So what right do you think the American people have to know what government is doing?
Well, they get to vote for senior officials like the President of the United States or like the senior officials in Congress, and you have to have some trust in them. You don't go out when you're running an intelligence operation trying to collect data and, in effect, tell the enemy what you're doing. It would be a dumb idea. It makes the program significantly less effective.
That's awesome. Well, you voted for your democratically elected leaders, and they never told you what they were doing, but you voted for them, so you voted for the things that they're doing in secret. Well, I might not have voted for them if I knew what they were doing in secret. That's why, in a democracy, I should probably find out. Now, you want to run to junta, you want to run a secret paramilitary government, you want to be a dictator, you want to be a Sith Lord, you want to be a Lannister, have at it, hoss. Okay? But in an American democracy, the American people are supposed to know what our democratically elected leaders are doing under our name.